How's everybody doing, Wolfpack Nation? Thank you all so much for tuning in again for the 16th episode of Tuffy Talk. Got a lot of good content for you guys here today. I know you guys are definitely going to want to check out. So please make sure if you haven't already, subscribe to us. Hit the button in the bottom right-hand corner. And also, too, please like this video. Check out other content that really helps support us and the channel. And please also make sure if you haven't already followed us at Tuffy Talk Now, bam, on Twitter and Instagram, please make sure to do so. And also, to make sure as well, if you have any interest in any Tuffy Talk merchandise, please make sure to DM us on Twitter, Instagram, and again, so basically today we'll be doing mostly just an interview with Reggie Gallaspy, former NC State running back. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Really going to enjoy it. So with that being said, let's go and get this thing started.
What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? This is Macon Adams coming to you live here at Tuffy Talk, and today we have the special guest of being able to interview the single-season rushing record holder for NC State football, Reggie Gallaspy. How's it going, Reggie?
Bringing pretty good. How about you?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Like I was just saying, I was just really honestly really excited to get to have you on. Layton's away this weekend, so I'm kind of holding down the fort, but it's really awesome to get to see you, get to talk with you. So I guess first off, how's life been going since college? Like, give everybody an update.
It's just it's been going pretty well. Not too bad. Still pursuing the football dream and whatnot. So hopefully something can give in that area, but also just doing little small things like Instacart and stuff like that, just to keep money in my pockets. Then I recently moved, I want to say January of last year, I moved up back with my dad in Michigan, just to, continue to train and just continue to work on my craft.
Yeah. So you said you're trying to keep pursuing football. What does that look like for you right now?
Right now, just pretty much just continue training, looking in different avenues like CFL, XFL, things like the spring league and things like that nature, just continue, updating film and things in that nature. I recently went back to NC State to do pro day, but due to outstanding numbers of attendance, pretty much I wasn't able to compete in drills and things of that nature. Only thing I was able to do was position work. But me and my trainer here in Michigan, we're actually going to videotape a pro day starting this week. Just to be able to give it to my agent so we can send out and things of that nature, and see if anything works in that, and also just patiently waiting just to see what the CFL is going to do this season, if they're going to have it or not, or is it going to move later on, or whatever happens. So just right now, just the focus is just to stay in shape and just stay ready.
Yeah. So you mentioned stuff you've been working on with your trainer. Has that been difficult or odd having to deal with that with all this COVID stuff going on? And then two, with I know everybody when we were watching you at State, we really in my mind I think of Reggie. I think of just a big bruising running back. I know you have the one receiving touchdown here at State, so that's pretty cool. But like, is there anything in your game since college you've really tried to work on that's different, maybe to add to your repertoire?
One just the first to answer your first part of the question was training during the COVID has been a little weird. Just because having the mask while you got to wear while training kind of prohibits breathing and stuff like that sometimes. And then sometimes you just get to the point where it's just like, man, like I'm around these guys all the time. The guys just all of us is pretty much, either in the NFL or trying to get in the NFL. So we all trying to be safe. So we kind of already have like a type of, not technique, but a way we go about things where we try to make sure that all of us are safe, outside of the training and stuff like that. So when we do meet, that we're not, spreading any COVID or anything like that. So it has its ups and downs, but it just find a way and just continue to work. And then for the second part of your question was, right now, my vocal thing was just, lose weight. My senior year, it was a lot of surgeries and things that was, done in the back end that, a lot of people didn't know about. And never really got the opportunity to, completely train and, build my body to get it back, in tip-top shape. And so I was well overweight when the season started. As you can see during my gameplay, it just showed a little sloppy here and there. I missed the whole spring ball, and then I missed camp, and I didn't come back until the first game week. And so it was just hard and stuff like that. But throughout the year, throughout the season, actually, I started, uh, gain confidence and started to get a little bit in shape. So that's when things started to slowly pick up towards, middle and the end of the season.
Right.
But also in that, my vocal thing is just my vocal point and where I'm trying to continue to critique is, just being more mobile, be able to do more things, try to do more things down the field, trying to be more of a complete back than just just a bruiser running back. And right now I'm down to 225, so I lost 20 pounds,
That's
and
awesome.
still trying to work my way down to around 220, 215. um like I said, just working on overall, the league is changing. A lot of teams are looking for the running back to do more than just, be able to run the ball. So just continue working on difficult catches and stuff like that,
Yeah.
more things down the field, catching the ball, and just being more elusive and things of that nature.
Yeah. So you mentioned going working out and trying to get into trying to do with the CFL, XFL. What are some of
Mm.
the main differences that you have noticed firsthand in those leagues versus it's maybe stories or any experience you may have had with the NFL or college football? What have you noticed is unique about those leagues that's maybe made it harder, easier, just interesting? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as far as I haven't really got into the CFL, XFL. Like I said, things just been a little weird, after college. But
Okay.
pretty much it's kind of harder to get when you haven't been in. It's kind of harder to get in, so you have to do a lot more work.
Yeah.
Especially with the CFL, they would like to work with guys who's either already been on NFL rosters or any type of mini camp or anything like that. And then that also helps with better contracts and things of that nature. And so I was working with an agent, when I in the beginning of my process, and things didn't go well with that. So I'm with a new agent now, and we're working really hard, just give me a better opportunity than I had before.
Right. That's cool. So,
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about, I guess taking a step back, when you
Mm-hmm.
look back at your time at NC State, what are some of the, your best moments, your takeaways from there? When you look back on it, what are you most proud of?
I'm proud of the relationships that I built while I was there. A lot
Yeah.
of the guys that came from different backgrounds and different stages of life, and we be able to come together and became friends and things of that nature, and able to just enjoy life together. And not only while I was there, but the relationships were so strong to the point where once we graduated, that we still communicate, we still hang out, we still check up on each other, make sure that guys are physically and mentally still stable and
Right.
things of that nature. And that's just the relationships. That was the biggest thing for me. And also just just to see how much I progressed throughout the throughout my college career. Coming from playing, good ball in high school, and going to a situation where um, you really have to learn and figure out how to learn football. And that was kind of hard for me in the beginning, being able to just learn football, and then also with learning football, learning how to also just stay with your natural ability. And I got to the point to where sometimes in games and situations I will overthink too much and
Yeah.
try to do too much detail instead of just playing ball. Like I played football majority of my life, so instead of
Right.
just taking the little things that that coaches get installed in you, and then just added it to how you play, and then just play. And at points and times, I start to think too much, and it kind of prohibited my play. And then more and more, they NC State, all the coaches, Coach Dorn, Coach Kitchens, and all of them stayed confident in me. So they just kept giving me the ball, and more, I realized that I'm still a great football player. confidence started happening, and
Right.
bigger plays and bigger things started to happen. So sometimes in life you run into that situation where you wish you knew then what you knew now, but
Right.
you just enjoy it. And like I said, I ended my senior year, with a good year and things of that nature, and can't be more proud of myself.
Yeah, man. I could tell you what, man, it was awesome. I really think, as time goes on, Reggie, I really
Hmm.
think even now, I think you might be considered one of the most underrated running backs State's had.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
you look at your numbers, and I was looking some of those up. Yeah, obviously you had the game everybody's going to remember against Carolina, but you had
Hmm.
31 touchdowns, which is tied for fifth all
Hmm.
time at NC State. You had 2,147 rushing yards. You
Hmm.
averaged over 4.5 yards per carry, so or
Hmm.
touch basically. So it's 4.7,
Yeah.
and a lot of guys that think of the T.A. McClendons or whatever, but I mean,
Hmm.
like your total, you broke the record for single season touchdowns, and that was one more than T.A.'s. So you had
Hmm.
19, and I really think you're going to end up going down as one of the most underappreciated.
Hmm.
Did you get that vibe at all a little bit? Is it like it's kind of like a chip on your shoulder kind of thing, or is it just like, man, I'm just proud to have the stats that I did and the career I did at NC State?
Yeah, well, I've been underrated, majority of my career. That's even including high school, and
Yeah,
so I never really played, never really played the game for all the props. I just played the game for the love of the
right.
game. So things of that nature really doesn't bother me that much. Like I said, I was heavily criticized throughout the season, throughout my career, and things like that. Sometimes it bothered me, but then, like I said, I learned that just go out there, have fun, play ball, and just love it.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, everybody's going to get critiqued. When you have a good game, everybody's going to praise you. When you have a bad game, everybody's
exactly.
going to get down your throat. So just ignore that and just go out there and have fun. Because one of the things that's most important is um, the things that you do to help create opportunities for your teammates. I play well, and I open up other doors for my teammates, and they play well, they can open up doors for me and things of that
Hmm.
nature, and vice versa with the coaches. I play well for them, doors open up for them and things of that nature. So like I said, I didn't really pay attention to all that type of stuff. I was just out there, just enjoying it. Like I said,
Yeah,
you live life once, and you're only gonna get one opportunity to play
right.
college football. And I had that one opportunity, and I just loved it and enjoyed it.
Well, you definitely made a statement, man.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but you really did make a statement, and it was so. You mentioned high school,
Hmm.
so you were at Southern Guilford High School,
Yes.
and I'm a guy who my interest. I really follow the recruiting side of things pretty
Hmm.
hard. And I remember when you were like a junior and that your name started getting floated out there, State was looking at you, something to that effect. Maybe it was
Hmm.
before then even. But I remember that I think they offered you like late in your junior season, something to that effect. Maybe it was in your senior season. I can't remember exactly. But I
Talking about
remember
talking
you
about
said,
NC State.
yeah.
They offered me my mid that towards the spring of my sophomore year.
Okay, so it was
Hmm.
earlier then. Well, then
Hmm. Yeah.
they were on you earlier, and then
Hmm.
I remember like people were they were looking at the recruiting, seeing who the running backs were looking at, and then people were like, you guys need to pay attention to this Reggie Gallaspy guy because he's his the way he plays is really strong, and but then your senior year in
Hmm.
Southern Guilford, you were just dominant, and I think you were like a top 10 back, your numbers wise in like the country, I think something
Yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
Can you talk about that? What went into that? And like just looking back on it, like holy crap, like that was amazing that happened.
It spun off my sophomore year, so had a decent sophomore season. I was a second string running back, and I still rushed for 1,700 yards, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And around it was towards like I said, early spring, maybe mid spring. Um, I was just like, just hopefully, something happens. Maybe next year I can start, earning some scholarships. And then first, then Carolina came and offered me. Then it was Duke, and then NC State got more more, in-state schools, and then big schools start coming through. Other schools outside the state start also coming in and things of that nature. And things was going well. I was getting rated top in the state and in the country and things of that nature. And junior year came, I kind of got hurt, and I wasn't able to play the same way I was able to play in my sophomore year. And so my ratings went down on like all stuff. So I was a 4-star, and I went down to a 3-star because of it. And and so I was just like, man, like, if they really knew the whole story behind it, they wouldn't, be down on me and think whatever. But like I said, I was just like, okay, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And so I came back, like I said, I came up here to train in Michigan during the summer, and I was working real hard and whatnot. I can't remember the numbers I had, but still think I had like 1,800 yards or something like that.
I got your numbers right here. So you had sophomore stats. You had 1,751 yards and 20 touchdowns. 20 touchdowns. Junior year, 282 carries for 1,704 yards and 26 rushing touchdowns. But then you had 245 yards on top of that. So you had all-purpose yards. You had 2,325 all-purpose yards, and you're just your junior year. Most guys never see that in their high school career period.
Yeah.
And then for Wolfhawk Nation, it gets even better when he gets a senior year.
But yeah, it was that. And so then, like I said, critics and things of that nature just didn't, just felt like I still deserved to be a 3-star. So I just, like I came back to the question you had earlier on in the show that you was asking, do some of the critics and stuff that people say, have to give you a chip on your shoulder, which it did. And I came back and I told my trainer, first thing I told him when we first met, I said, make me to the point to where I can rush for 2,000 yards. And he said, okay, I got you. And so then I came to talk to my dad, and he was like, 2,000. He said, why you undershorting yourself? He said, why don't you go for 3,000? I said, okay, then. Well, we go for 3,000. So I went back to my trainer and said, well, make me a 3,000-yard rusher this year. And so I was busting my butt. And I mean, like, it was to the point to where, normally during the summers, I'll visit multiple colleges and do like their camps and things of that nature. But we didn't do it that year. We went to visit a few schools, but it was strictly just to visit, no camps or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure my body was healthy, 100% ready for my senior season. And I give props to my head coach, Daryl Brown, which is at Grimsley High School now, for, trusting and believing in me, because, most times high schools train full teams in the summer and stuff like that. And he allowed me to go up north up here in Michigan with my dad to, do personal training with my trainer here. And for him to trust me and believe in me that, I was really up here working and things of that nature. And he trusted me. And so came back my senior season, and I just had that chip, and I was hungry, and I was, I just wanted to prove everybody wrong. I just wanted to prove the critics, like, that 1 star that you took from me, you should have never took it from me, because I'm everybody on every team that I played was going to feel it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So, like, again, so everybody, you talk about the work ethic that you put in going in your season. You said, I want to be a 3,000-yard rushing back. Your dad said, don't sell yourself short. Here's a senior season high school numbers. All right, 349 carries, 3,318 yards, and 52 touchdowns in his senior year. And his last game, you had 278 yards and 6 touchdowns in your last game. I think that was in the state championships, quarterfinals, something like that.
Yeah, we played. I can't remember what high school we played, but yeah, we lost literally on the last play of the game.
Yeah, and that's just wild, man. Just a tribute to your trainer, your dad, your Coach Brown, and you working hard as you dive, and your teammates. I mean, you don't have an offensive line blocking for you. You ain't going to get those stats.
Yeah, they was amazing, and they did a great job. And like I said, I love them guys because, summer I didn't really sweat with them guys in the summer. And, they trusted me and they believed in my abilities to be able to, go somewhere else and train and come back. And, they didn't feel nothing bad about it or anything like that. They were just like, we know we here working, we know Reggie's up there working, so we're gonna get back. Once we get back, we're gonna get those first couple practices in and get everything together and go out there and have fun with each other.
Right. So you mentioned the whole recruiting side of things. Was that? I know you said you mostly were business and trying to get all your training in, but what was that like? You mentioned the in-state schools started offering you, and I imagine when you got State and Carolina's offers, they were big for you. But what other schools were recruiting you, and what made it end up being NC State for you in your mind?
So like I said, it started off with mostly in-state. So it was Carolina first, then it was Duke, and then NC State came, and then ECU came, and then schools like Ohio State came, and Wisconsin, Vanderbilt. So a lot of big schools decided to come and recruit me, and I enjoyed the process, and thank God that he gave me the opportunity to get.
Yeah.
So overall, I had 18 full ride scholarships. And I want to say for the longest, my top five was no order, but it was Duke, NC State, Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas. And so the reason why I picked NC State was. It was 2000 and I think it was 2013,
something like that.
I can't remember. I think it was that season. Jameis Winston had his last season at Florida State, and NC
I
State,
think that was 13. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, NC State opened up. They didn't open up to them, but they played Florida State at NC State. It was my official visit my senior year, and the thing was, NC State was going to be my first one, and I had multiple other ones that was in. I had a whole list of all the officials and unofficials that I was ready to take because I knew for a fact that I wanted to graduate early so I could get in the program, study the playbook, and be ready, for the upcoming season. And so I wanted to make sure I had everything planned out so that by the time it came to where I needed to make my decision, I was ready. And so right before I went to NC State's official visit, Wisconsin gave me a call and offered me. So I was getting everything prepared for that. And so we went to the game. Guys like Johnny Fraser was there, Naheem Hines was there, Darren Roseborough, Emmanuel McGirt, Freddie Phillips, all us was there. And we were just literally sitting there. Bryce Love was there too. Yep. So we was all talking about, and I was literally in the crowd, and like just to hear how happy was all, just hearing the fans, hear how happy they were. And we just got hype, and we was like, yeah, like we can contribute to this, we could be another factor to a reason why that, NC State can finally get over that hump, being a mediocre type of team. And so I went to Coach Doran's house that night after the game, and we talked, and I committed right then and there. And
that's awesome. I remember that. Again, like I said, I was following the recruiting side of things, so I saw you committed. I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So right then and there, I knew that's where I wanted to be.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So you mentioned through your career at State, you kind of talked about that a little bit. Are there any games in particular that stand out in your mind, or are there like any things that I would definitely want to touch on the last Carolina game because that was interesting. But are there any games that stand out in your mind in particular that are like, man, that was one of my favorite games I was to be a part of?
The funnest one, only because it's just the condition of the game, was that Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
My sophomore it was my junior year. No, it was my sophomore year.
It was 2016.
2016. So that was my sophomore year. Yep, because Matt was still there. So that was that was fun.
And I was there at that game too. I was there, a fan, and I'm some hunting waiters to make sure I get. But I still had to dump those things out at halftime because there was so much water.
It was fun to ask because of the condition of the game. At first, it was freezing cold, and then after a while, once your body got adjusted to the condition of it,
it was cold.
Just like, all right, now like have fun, like. And then after after we won, like we just all ran and slid 20 yards down the field. It was just fun. But one of the games that I felt like, other than the UNC game, that was just like really, fun for me was the Louisville game on my senior year. And the reason why I say that was because we had a very slow start in the beginning, and we was throwing the ball a lot because we was, the run game wasn't, hitting like it was in the beginning, and then we got in the locker room at halftime, and I can't remember what exactly happened, but we just got fired up. Like Coach Leffert was just like firing us up. Like, yeah, we're gonna like the second half. We're gonna try to really focus on the run game because once we get the run game going, we can get start opening up some of the lanes for the passing. And so he was just like, you guys, like our run game has been pretty solid majority of the season, so we need to just show guys and show teams and that nature, like our bread and butter. Like I said, just just for us to get in the locker room and just be able to just be like, hey, let's together. And we went out there and got it together and win the game. And like you said, for the guys to really sit there and trust and believe in me to be able to help with the run game is just it was amazing. And then also another game. What game was it? It was Boston College, and I think we played Florida State before Boston College. I want to say my senior year.
Okay.
I can't remember what game it was, but I wasn't playing too well, and Ricky was getting a lot of the balls, and he was running pretty good. And so after throughout the week for the next prepping for the next week, I was like, yeah, man, I want you to know that you had a good game week last week, but like that's not happening this week, dude.
Yeah,
like
it was a one-time thing, man.
Yeah, I was like, it's not happening this week. I'm not about to let the young guy, shine over me. So then, Boston College came, and I want to say I either had that was the first guy I actually made like a couple guys miss in space, and I was just motivated. Like I said, me and Ricky, we always had like a competition, and I feel like that made my senior year a lot better, and I feel like that also started to spark him up a little bit as well because we had love for each other, but we also just had competition. I'm gonna have a better week this week than you. Oh no, you're not. That type of thing. So that also helped as well. And I feel like that Boston College game, was pretty good. Now I can't remember that defensive end name, but I just knew he was a big guy, big name that was supposed to be heavy, top guy in the draft. And I just knew that I just wanted to try to establish myself. If I can beat him and show NFL teams that I could beat top guys that's supposed to be in the draft of the upcoming season, then maybe they can look at me a little bit more. So.
Yeah,
just those two.
So let's wrap it up real quick, just to get it let's touch on that Carolina game, man. This is real quick. So you had the 5 rushing touchdowns, win to overtime. First off, what do you think when Jacoby Myers had that catch on that last drive, man? Because that was what to me, I don't know if you remember, that's what to me like kept us in that game like late. Like he had Ryan Finley kind of spun out to the left side along y'all's sideline, and Jacoby had that like back shoulder catch, toe drag. That, and then what was going through your mind when you realized, holy crap, I got like 5 rushing touchdowns this whole game. I am the offense, so to speak.
Well, we established before the game started. We knew the conditions of the game was going to be a wet and rainy field, and so we knew that our run game has to be dominant, especially some of the balls that were getting thrown during the game on both sides were getting dropped. Some of the easy catches and some of the tough catches that most of the guys normally make. Due to conditions, those guys wasn't, able to make some of those catches. And I can't remember exactly if I was in blocking on that play or was on the sideline, but I didn't even see it. I saw it like the replay of it. But yeah, Jacoby, that guy is just, like I said, he's a top guy, and he's a real good player. And for him to be able to, in that type of condition to be able to make that type of catch, is the reason why he's, in the position he is with the Patriots doing things like that with there. There's a lot of pieces in that game that we needed a spark. I feel like that was one of the situations that we need a spark. That gave us a spark, and I couldn't remember if I was actually in on that play blocking. More than likely, I was blocking, but or it was Ricky was on that play, but I missed it, and I saw it on the jumbotron, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, like that's an amazing catch, and
Wow.
it was an amazing catch. I couldn't tell or really if he kept his feet inside, but as I continue to watch the game now, I was just like, yeah, he actually was able to catch that and keep his feet in bounds. But we just needed a spark, and like I said, most of those situations where I knew that we need the run game needed to be strong, we got put in so many situations where we need to go down and score, and the offensive line blocked amazing. And then I knew what type of game it was going to be when Coach Drink had put it in like a trickery transit, what do you call a shift when we was on the goal line, and we added an extra blocking lineman, and we had Garrett line up as a guard, and we kind of made the whole line shift. And when Carolina didn't even shift with us, I was like, yeah, they're not ready. They told us before I think Carolina got ball first, and they missed the field goal. And we was on the sideline. It was like, yeah, we're leaning on the run game. And I was just like, it was just a confidence booster, knowing that, those guys and Coach Dorn, Coach Drinkwitz, Coach Leffler, Coach Kitchens, all those guys, trusted us to us and me, the running backs and the old linemen to, finish out the game. And man, it was just all the holes are just opening up, and it was just chunk yard, chunk. And then we got to the goal line. I was just like, man, like this is it. This is it. And then next, the hole opened up so wide. It was really I jumped in. There was really no point in me jumping in. I really could have just
but it was like a statement kind of
sidestep
thing,
and walked in. But for the dramatic and the scene, I was just like, I'm gonna just dive in.
Yeah.
And I think it was the year before Stephon Diggs, man. I'm a Saints fan. When the Vikings beat us in the last second of the game.
Oh yeah.
And he threw his helmet because I had took my helmet off because I was getting ready to throw it.
That's awesome.
I couldn't throw it because Big T, Tyrone Prescott, he was grabbing like the back of my shoulder pads because everybody was trying to bear hug me. So I'm like, And so then and then next thing you know, I look to my right, and then I'm like, I just see pushing and shoving. And so I'm like, oh man, then it was just a big pile. So I was like, man. So my survival instincts kicked in. I was like, well, I had my helmet off and everybody else had theirs on. So if anybody wants to punch me, I'm gonna get knocked out. So I was like, let me help put my helmet back on before somebody, get me.
That's funny.
I was pumped up after the whole brawl, and I was just like, yeah, go back in your locker room. Get out of here. And I was just hyped, man. It was just like, man. Then by the time I got in the locker room and calmed down, it all hit me like, man, I really just rushed for 5 touchdowns. Yeah, like it was just like,
because I don't know if that's ever happened. I don't know if it had ever happened, but that's just I thought it was awesome. Yeah, especially against Carolina too. So
yeah, definitely against Carolina. That was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just like I said, just me just sitting in the locker room, just going, replaying everything that has happened in my career. It's just like, wow, man, I really, I went from, things was going, it was here and there, and then things just started to just roll, and things it was a blessing. And it was just, I guess it was an exciting thing. And, I kind of tears started coming to my eyes because it was just like, man, like, all the surgeries I have, all the, the doubts that I had on myself, and, all the stuff like that. And then for me to come out my senior year and rush 1,000 yards and, break records and things of that nature. And it was just,
Yeah.
all
God
down.
really bless you, man. That's awesome. With the team now, what do you think about the team now? How do you think they're set up? Do you think they're going to have? What do you think their season moving forward? What you saw last year with the big turnaround from 2 years ago. What are your thoughts
It
on
was
the
a
team
great
now?
jump. The year after I got left, things, it wasn't working really too good, and there was a lot of young guys. That was the biggest thing that I knew for a fact. It was a lot of new guys. We was, like I said, we had Ryan Finley at quarterback, and he was with us for what 3 years, and so we
Yeah.
it was just kind of hard because like we was in so many close games majority of those years that it was kind of hard trying to put the younger guys in game situations, and then also with Ryan being the starter, we did have Jalen McClendon who transferred after my sophomore year going into our it was either our sophomore year, junior. He transferred out, and he was a backup guy. He had a lot of experience, also being behind Jacoby Brissett. So then now you lose, one of the backups who've been in so many game situations, and then now with younger guys who have been in that situation, it kind of just it wasn't clicking too well. And so, you had that they had the 1 year where, things wasn't going bad. They're trying to find the rhythm, find who's going to be the guy. And then the following year, things picked up, Bam being Bam, Ricky playing real good, Emeka playing great. You got guys stepping like Devin Carter, who was playing a big role, and Thayer Thomas was playing a big role, and then offensive line, was great. Got the new guy that played tackle. I can't remember his name, but things just like I said, they're clicking, and you can see that guys out there having fun, and the young guys are starting to learn ball and actually starting to play a lot better, and and I think this season is probably going to be even better.
All right, well, Pack Nation, hope y'all enjoyed that interview with Reggie Gallaspy. It was a lot of fun making. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah, Reggie's a really cool guy. You can tell with his personality. He's, it's kind of contagious talking to him, and you can tell how much he still loves State and is proud of what he's done and the program where it's gotten to since he's been there. So, just make sure y'all follow him and support him on Twitter. He's a really cool guy. It seems like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always great to have some great NC State alumni like him, really sharing the word and spreading the word about NC State. So with that being said, make sure again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to us in the bottom by clicking the button in the bottom right hand corner, as it really helps support us and the channel. And please like this video if you enjoyed it to get other content, and also to check out our other content as well. And got a lot of other great interviews and stuff as well that I know you all will enjoy. Please make sure as well, if you haven't followed us already, at Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter and Instagram, please make sure to do so. And also, again, if you have any interest in any Tuffy Talk merchandise, please make sure to direct message us on Twitter and Instagram. So with that being said, thank you all so much again for tuning in. Please stay safe, and as always, go Pack, y'all.